nice to see you all again. I thought that we're going to have a look at a vinyl tag that was introduced some weeks ago by Nick Rudow. It's a compilation vinyl tagged 2021. So let's start immediately. Let's not waste any time. The first one is show a compilation that introduced you to a genre or music style. And this is the one. Homeland, a collection of black South African music. I was very interested in South African music in the late 80s after hearing Paul Simon's Graceland, but it wasn't really easy to get hold of, well, genuine, proper South African records up in northern Sweden, as you may imagine. But I found this. It's on the British label Greensleeves, and we have bands like Dilika, Mankala Falang, Boyoyo Boys that we can hear on the Gumboots track on Graceland, Mayosi, Elias Matebula and the Chiwani sisters, and so on. It's a great compilation with really lovely danceable South African music. This, I think I bought this in the late 80s, so it's long time ago. So that's number one. Let's move on. Number two, show a garage rock or psych compilation. I don't have that much of that. Not a great garage fan nor a great psych fan, but I have this, which in a way could be called garage rock or garage rock. It's Digging for Gold, Volume 2, a collection of demented 60s R&B punk and mesmerizing 60s pop. Looks like this. It's a Swedish compilation. It's numbered, and I thought I bought it on a record store day some years ago, and I think it's on grey vinyl. No, it's on no, of course not. It's on golden vinyl. It's Digging for Gold. Yeah, that's that one. Right. Number three. Oops. Show Lost Leaders, Warner Brothers compilation, or show a compilation showcasing a specific label. And yeah, I thought I'd do that. Well, let's have a look at Warner Brothers, or the company Reprise that was owned by Warner Brothers by this time. It's this nice, lovely compilation, fruity for the German market. Sonderpreis Deutschmark, sehr Deutschmark. And it's a really great compilation. And we have Alice Cooper, Allman Brothers Band, Curved Air, Ry Cooder, Fanny, America, Van Morrison, Fleetwood Mac, among many others. It's a great compilation with material from Reprise and from Warner Brothers. Fruity. Okay, number four, show a numero compilation. Well, I can't do that because I don't have any, so we'll have to skip that. Number five, show a Light in the Attic compilation. I don't have that many, but I have this. Country Funk, 1969 to 1975. A great compilation with Dale Hawkins, Bob Darin, Jim Ford, Bobby Charles, the great Bobby Charles, Bobby Gentry, and many others. Country Funk on Light in the Attic. It's from 2012. Number six, show a jazz compilation. I've got many jazz compilation, and I have a certain special love for the really early vinyl issues from the early 50s, you know, the 10-inch ones. And I have here from 1953, Gems of Jazz. It's a Decca issue. It has a red label like this. And the previous owner has made his own notes here, discographical notes, even though we have quite a lot of information. We have material here from, I guess, 4 different 78s from the 1930s on this Gems of Jazz #1. I don't know how many Gems of Jazz issues there were. This is the only one I've got. It's in great condition, plays nicely. Number 7. Show a live music compilation. Wasn't that easy, but I decided to pick one that is also an original soundtrack album, and it's Woodstock. This triple LP set on Atlantic, or is it Cotillon? Is it Cotillon or Atlantic? It's the same. Looks like Atlantic to me. But, well, I don't have to tell you more about Woodstock. I'm sure you're all very familiar with this. So, well, that's a live music compilation anyway. Number 8. Show a compilation on colored vinyl. Yeah, I'm going to show you why do you think they call it pop. The Pop Narcotic Compilation. It's a 10-inch double album, or with 2 records on the Pop Narcotic label from, not sure when it's from actually, but we have 2 records, one with a pink label and it's yellow. These are 10 inches as you may see, and then we have yellow label and pink vinyl. And who plays on these? Well, Sleepyhead, The Dam Builders, Polvo, Monsterland, Sloat, Helium, and many others. Lots of interesting music here. Number 9. Show a holiday compilation. Yeah, why not? Christmas guitar songs. A Swedish issue on the Triola label, Mälar Musik, Hägersten, not very far from where I live. And we have both recordings from the 60s, old instrumental guitar pop recordings from the 60s, with, well, let's see, the Heartbreakers from Norway, Chico and the Tigers, and then we have newer recordings by, well, 60s style instrumental guitar groups, but in the 80s, like the Night Runners, Kiki and the Kangaroos, Mike and the Moonbeams. I think this is on colored vinyl too. I think is it red vinyl? It should be. It's a Christmas. No, it's not. Why did I think it was red? I think I got some sort of Christmas compilation with guitar music that is red vinyl too, but okay, never mind. All right, number 10. Show a word music compilation. Yeah, what's word music? Well, music that comes from all over the world. And I'm going to show you the first volume of a 2-volume set, Nippon Girls, Japanese pop, beat and bossa nova, 1967 to 1969. We got a volume 2 as well. It's on the Big Beat label, yellow vinyl. Lovely recordings with some really great Japanese female pop singers. Yeah, you know, Japanese pop and Japanese culture has never been bigger in the Western world than it is today, and lots of really appealing music coming from that part of the world and listening back to the 60s, I can understand why so many Swedish pop groups became very popular in Japan, because they have some sort of melancholic style that fits very good with both the Swedish musical mind and the Japanese musical mind. So, Nippon Girls. Show a Soul compilation. Yeah, got many of those. Oops. Everything falling over. Okay, never mind. There. Yeah. I picked something from Stax. Boy Meets Girl. Some really, really nice tracks here with William Bell, Eddie Floyd, the Staples, Johnny Taylor, Carla Thomas. Great stuff on the Stax label. I love Stax. Well, can't say more than that. And this is I think, hasn't this also been issued as or reissued lately as some sort of record store day issue? I think I've seen it lately. This is an old original though, complete with a cutout hole for importing it to Europe. Yeah. Okay. Number 12. Show a Reggae compilation. I don't have that much reggae in my collection, but I managed to get a hold of a very nice singles box called The Spirit of 69, the Boss Reggae 7s collection on Trojan label. 8 different singles in the box with Lloyd Robinson, Derek Harriott, the J-Boys, and some others. Very nice. Although I'm not a die-hard reggae fan, I get bored quite easily by reggae. But this really old stuff from the late 60s and early 70s, I can enjoy. Okay. Number 13. Show a punk compilation. I have some punk groups and punk records, but not that many. And when it comes to compilation, I have another of these vinyl box sets or single box sets. This one is a bit torn. Well, it's punk, is it? It's a Punk Classics 45s, the Demon Records issue with these old punk classics with the Damned, Jonathan Richman, Ian Jury, like Sex, Drugs and Rock and Roll, X-Ray Specs, The Lurkers, The Fall, many others. I'm quite fond of these Demon Records singles boxes. Tried to get hold of the issue, those issues. I have some of them, not all of them, and I think I bought this fairly cheap. Not sure if it was worn like this or when I got it, but might be. But the records are fine. So, Punk Classic 45s. Not sure if it counts as a compilation. Yeah, it is a compilation. It is a compilation of singles in the box. All right. Show number 14. Show a compilation featuring cover songs. Yeah, well, we can pick a Swedish. The Swedish-Dutch songwriter and legend and singer Cornelis Vreeswijk. I talked about him before. And after his death, the whole Swedish artist elite gathered together and recorded a double album called The Flying Dutchman, or in Swedish, Den Flygande Holländare. And I showed this in a fairly recent video. Well, recent. I've done that many videos lately, but I've spoken about this not that long ago. So here we have Swedish stars like Marie Fredriksson from, you know, from Roxette, Pugh Rogefeldt, Ulf Lundell, Ola Magnell, Freddie Wadling, the late great, Wilmer X, Björn Jason Lind, doing some okay versions of Cornelis Vreeswijk's old songs. There's one big problem with this album. It has too much synthesizer. It sounds too much like a product of 1988. This is from 1988, but it sold very well, and I think paid off all the old debts that Cornelis had when he died. And it was like start of the today it's a prize that they give to Swedish artists every year, or I think every year, called the Cornelis Vreeswijk Stipendium. And I think to be able to get money for that prize, they've taken money from the later CD issues that by Cornelis. But I think this is like the big comeback for Cornelis songs, even though Cornelis himself had passed away the year before. Right. Just a few left. Bear with me. Number 15. Show a favorite album cover from a compilation. Very difficult. Very difficult. I don't know if I have any favorite, but I picked one that I think is quite cute, at least. Smash Hits Presley Style Volume 2, the Music for Pleasure album with a cheesecake girl on the cover. To be honest, I didn't really know what to pick. I don't think I have any favorite album cover among my compilations. Number 16, Show a Greatest Hits compilation. Yeah, this is a compilation that has meant quite a lot of me, because it was the start of a lifelong admiration of a certain artist. I'm talking about Paul Simon. Greatest Hits, etc. from 1977, which gathers material from his 4 first solo albums, plus the single Slip Sliding Away and Stranded in a Limousine from 1977. I heard this maybe in 1983-84, and it was actually this copy, this very copy. I had heard him before I heard the first Paul Simon album I heard was One Trick Pony, and I wasn't at all impressed. I was just a little kid then. I thought it was a boring. But when I got this, and also I started to follow the lyrics, I was just starting to learn English. I got really hooked, so to speak. And then a couple of years later, Graceland, and hey presto, the big gate of music from all over the world had opened to me. Okay, so very important record for me. Greatest Hits, etc. Paul Simon. Yeah. Okay, number 17. Show an indie alternative compilation. Well, I'm going to show you something. This is from Record Store Day a couple of years ago. Not sure actually when. It's Polyvinyl 4-track singles series volume 1, where they have some artists have recorded their own music on 4-track tape recorders, like back in the days, back in the late 90s, mid to late 90s. I did all my recordings on these 4-track tape recorders as well, and it's a lovely compilation, and I think it's some clear vinyl too. Yeah, some clear vinyl, right? Oh yes, very clear, very clear. And this was one record that I didn't really know what I bought, but I just thought it looked so interesting, and since I have this old affection for the 4-track tape recorder, even if I'm happy that I can use a bit more advanced stuff today. But back then, for me, it was very advanced. So I bought that one, and I like it. Okay, number 18. Oh, show a compilation you bought on Record Store Day. Well, I could have shown you that one, but I'm going to show you this one. Dr. Demento, First Century Dementia. This is from last year's Record Store Day, I think. Well, with the great Dr. Demento putting together a compilation of some really wacky recordings from, well, the early 1900s, I think, and late 1800s even, from 1895, whoa, up to 1923, I think. So recordings that almost all of them are 100 years old or older. Yeah, I'm a great fan of Dr. Demento and his records. I mean, where do we find all these weird recordings? And he's made them all much more famous for all of us. Right. 2 more to go. 19. Show a compilation from your region in the world. Okay, I live in the Stockholm area now, but I grew up way up in northern Sweden, up in Luleå. And they had a very active record label and music scene in the mid to late 70s, and a record label called Manifest. And this is 7-inch, 33 RPM record called Norrbottensplattan, number 1. And we have 5 tracks with different groups. One of them is a band called Kontraband from Piteå. They would later regroup and call themselves Euskefeurat. And the big music collective in Luleå, Anton Svedbergs Svänggäng, and the folk music group Norrlåtar. Lots of great local music on this record. There was a volume 2 as well, I think a year later or so. And now, finally, number 20. Show your favorite compilation and explain why. This was really difficult, but I think at the end I picked this one. De bästa dansbanden 2. The Best Dance Bands Volume 2. And why? Well, this is a compilation with Swedish dance bands who they recorded for the Platina label in the late 60s and early to mid 70s. And I bought this originally on a cassette when I was perhaps 9 or 10 years old. Cheap cassette, and I listened to it quite a lot. And these bands mainly did cover versions. So we have some cover versions of songs that I've later really loved, like I Can Hear Music, well known by the Beach Boys and also the Ronettes, here played by the group Tor Eriks. That group there, Tor Eriks. And Only One Woman, a Swedish version by that group, by the group Peter Pan, and the Wombles song Banana Rock by the Swedish dance band Thorleifs. Come Sundown, the great Chris Christopherson song by Magnus Quintet, and so on and so on, and some really great dance band Swedish dance band country. There are so many songs on the Suspicion, also by Peter Pan. This was one of the earliest recordings, or even though it was a cassette, I've kept all these recordings. I've listened to them so many times, and I have them in my blood. And sometimes when I really want to feel a bit sentimental, and who doesn't, I pick out this old compilation, the vinyl issue, and listen to it, because I love all the 12 tracks. In many cases, I love the originals more than these cover versions, but I love the cover versions too because they're very well recorded by 6 great, skillful Swedish dance bands. Right. Ooh, I've been talking for a long time, but we had 20 compilations to show, and I shown 19 of them at least. So I hope somebody managed to see through this whole video. I wish you all the best. We have the summer coming now. I hope we all feel good and listen to lots of records. And thank you for viewing, and bye for now. See you soon again.